about because I want to bring it back.
Yeah.
You said your grandfather owned.
So yeah, he kind of like was once again like almost in the chitlin circuit. He would fund artists, almost like front them the money to get them started. He helped James Brown with Please, Please, Please. Okay. He helped Percy Sledge get started. So it was almost like you couldn't just go to a bank as a black person and get that type of loans to maybe do what you needed to do. You need to be focused. You need to be laser focused on your goals, but you need to identify your goals. What are those goals? Financial, brand identity, all of the things from the top to the bottom. Realize like we talk about. You pray for the sales, you pray for this moment, but now you got to get ready for the moment.
But what happened?
What happened is we went on Reddit, the 49ers that week, everybody from Shanahan, Trey Lance when he was there, Debo Trent, they all went to press conferences and wore a hat, and then now that went on Reddit. And so now...
And this is the broadcast. I'm joined with my co-host with the most. We found him, y'all. He back, Mr. Petty Pat.
Yo, what's good, y'all? They didn't find me, and I'm back. Your boy Petty Pat, lead brand designer of Brock Brand Clothing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today we have a very special guest. He's an owner. He's an entrepreneur. He does a lot of things. He has done a lot of things. He's the owner of Residency Hats. We'll drop a link below. It's a brand that I love. It's a high-quality brand, and I think he just exemplifies everything I'm about, man. Mr. Zach King, everybody.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me. Brock, Pat, man, truly a pleasure, man.
Having him back again.
Yeah,
back again.
Come
on,
man.
Let's not forget that,
bro. Tell the whole story.
Yeah, man, because so I bought Zach's. I was messing with Zach hat. Or you sent me a hat. You sent me a hat. Yeah. That's what it was. He sent me a hat, and that's what resonated with me. We'll talk about that a little later. But he sent me a hat, and when I seen it and I put it on, I was rocking with it off top. Like I was like, damn, this is dope. This dude went out of his way to send me some product, and I rock with it, So I'm wearing it. I'm tagging him. Like I'm doing my due diligence as a athlete, because a lot of athletes get free stuff and don't post or don't show love. I wanted to do my due diligence and show love, and I just, your quality was great, and we ended up linking in L.A.
Exactly.
When I was playing for the Rams, and just, it's always been a great friendship, bro, and I just appreciate you being here.
Likewise. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Definitely.
Man, give us a little bio about, how you got started. You're owner of a hat company now.
Right.
But you've done multiple things.
Correct.
And you have multiple things going right now.
Correct.
Could you give our listeners what you got going?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, honestly, with me, my entrepreneur personally career started when I was 23. But I came from an entrepreneurial family. My grandfather, had restaurants and nightclubs in the 40s and 50s. My other grandfather was obviously a doctor and, kind of had his own practice in Durham, North Carolina. So, like, I had this entrepreneurial in my blood, but I didn't really go full circle for myself until I was 23. Kind of a story where I immediately knew I had to reinvent myself, and that's almost what forced me to entrepreneurship. I played football as well for the University of Florida. Y'all kicked our ass, LSU all the time. But when I was in Florida, everybody was kicking our ass. We were 8-5 every season. Played for Ron Zook. Obviously just a roller coaster of a college career. Knew I wasn't getting much playing time, and quite frankly, the people in front of me that were playing, they weren't going to the league either. So I kind of saw the handwriting on the wall. But I knew I didn't want to work for anybody. I knew I kind of wanted to do my own thing, and so that reinvention process actually started in college when I was 21. Right, like. A lot of times they call me the hustle man on campus, so I was almost your agent. Right. Before there was NIL, there was me, right? And so I was kind of that person who could connect dots, relationships for people, and I knew I could make people money because I knew I had obviously a hustle, a grind, and gift for just connecting people. And so that led me to my first business, which was my chicken concept, which I started when I was 23. Like I was saying, the first store was in Orlando, Florida. Was called Chicken Now. I had a background in the restaurant business from my grandfather, but this was the first time I was actually, going full circle and doing something on my own. So yeah, quite frankly, that was kind of my first intro into it. And from then, it kind of led to what you see now, which is this whole kind of almost conglomerate of other businesses or other partners that were met through that. But that was my first kind of experience being thrown in the wild. You can imagine, man, 23 years old, owning your own restaurant.
Right.
You got employees older than you.
Right.
You know how to fry the chicken, but that don't necessarily mean that you're a business person. So many of these lessons I had to learn on the go, but I honestly couldn't just show my employees that maybe I was naive or something or didn't know. I still had to be a leader. So that was a great experience. Anybody who works in fast food or owns restaurants can tell you it's almost a perfect training course for entrepreneurs because you get every different flavor. You get every different personality. You get customer service. You take some patience to work in fast food. And, it takes patience to be in those positions or jobs that, quite frankly, aren't sexy or people just don't want to naturally do. So that was my first intro.
I was going to ask you, so you working and you getting into the fast food industry, right? Were you working or were you just there in a suit and tie and watching everybody else?
Definitely no suit and ties. I think, somebody asked me this last week, man, I kind of had to know every post. I had to know how to, cook, clean, dishwashing, a payroll, customer service. So I had to know everything. I didn't micromanage because we grew this concept to 56 stores. So I had to train you, Pat, and bounce. But I had to make sure you were properly trained.
Yeah, I got you.
But at the same time, there was no suit and tie. I'm getting my hands dirty.
But you know what I'm talking about? The managers, they coming in with the white collar?
That was definitely wasn't me, man. I was on the ground level. And to a certain extent, I wanted to show people that I knew what I was talking about. And quite frankly, I was crazy enough. Brock, if you ain't want to do it, haul ass, I don't mind doing your job.
Right.
I don't feel I shouldn't have to if I'm paying you.
Right.
But if God forbid something go wrong, I'm not too good to do this work.
Yeah. Exactly.
And a lot of people, like I always tell people, you can't live what you don't lead. If I don't see you get down on it, right? How can I really look up to you and say you can instruct me on something? It's just like a coach, right? You playing ball, like if you ain't never played my position or been in this situation, that's going to affect how you lead. And people are going to see that. Players are going to see it. Employees are going to see it. And it goes a long way when they realize, all right, damn, if I'm late, man, Brock could do this, or Pat will do this. If I call in sick today, I might not have my fucking job because they're crazy enough or they're taking enough ownership to do it. So, it wasn't no suit and tie.
Talk to us about, because I want to bring it back. You said your grandfather owned.
So my grandfather, man, one of them, really the one who they say I'm the most like or got his spirit. He was from a small place in Georgia called Alapaha, Georgia. He had a third grade education, man. And this dude literally was ahead of his time in so many different ways. He kind of was, once again, almost in the chitlin circuit. He would fund artists, almost front them the money to get them started. He helped James Brown with Please, Please, Please. He helped Percy Sledge get started. So it was almost like, you couldn't just go to a bank as a black person and get that type of loans to maybe do what you needed to do. So he had a nightclub, so it was almost a double whammy for him. Like, hey, Brock, I'll help you get going, but you come sing in my club after you get going.
For sure.
And so back in the day, when obviously before integration, you had no choice but to go to black steakhouses or black clubs or whatever. So he was kind of the pioneer of the family who kind of got that started with nightclubs or chicken restaurants. He actually had a model, which I love. In Tampa, he's got a street named after him. His name was Moses White. So if you go to Tampa, there's a portion of Main Street that's named after him. And his motto was from the cradle to the grave because every single business on that street he owned. So he owned a shoe shine, a barbershop, he had a clothing store. Obviously you get tailored up. And he also had a funeral home. Damn. So it was literally from the cradle to the grave. I'm going to feed your ass. I'm going to dress your ass. I'm going to haircut, shoe shine. And I'm gonna bury you.
All the way until you check out.
Exactly. I'm telling you.
And he owned the property, so it was like this whole ownership. And somebody obviously doing this before integration with a third grade education, man, just kind of set the tone. But what I learned from him by default was, because he died when I was 9 months old, so I didn't really get time for him to mentor me. But he taught my family what it was like to have money, but he didn't really show them what it was like to get money. And what I mean by that is, okay, I'm in here, I see this looks beautiful, Brock, but tell me about the growing pains, tell me about the inspections, tell me about the contractors, show me how to really get money, not just come here and look fly. And a lot of times as minority business owners, we have a huge problem with that transfer of wealth. The daddy was rich, granddaddy was rich. Both my granddaddy's millionaires. Why I got to start over and start frying chicken again? Why do I have to start? I'm glad I went through those struggles, but I should already kind of have a foundation in place. But nevertheless, man, that's where I get my spirit from. And in a lot of ways, he's been an inspiration. Even though he wasn't physically able there to guide me, I kind of have used his roadmap.
You talked about reinventing yourself. Give us some insight on that.
So yeah, man, I think it's one of those things I see, I went to University of Florida, like I was telling you, right? So 2007, you got to think, man, everybody who you could think of was coming out of Florida. It was probably one time, Brock, I probably had at least 70, 80 guys currently in the league from Florida, in any given scenario. So what I saw was just a lot of these guys, everybody stops playing at a different time, whether it be college, whether it be undrafted free agent, whether it be, hey, I had a couple years in the league, and a lot of times guys don't get to that second contract.
Right.
And so they go through almost this meltdown of what do I do, who am I, because their whole career it's been the Florida Gators, then so-and-so, then your name. It's never Pat first, it's never Zach first, it's never Brock first, it's the team and then you. And so their identity is attached to that, and it's almost like they go through a nervous breakdown, but they don't really break down with men.
Right.
Yeah. Right? So you don't see them break down, but in turn, like, man, what the fuck I'm gonna do? Like, all I've ever done is do this.
Right.
And so I went through that at 21 because I'm always been like a hustling, a business person. I'm like, look, I play offensive line, and only one of us got drafted. That was Max Starks. Everybody else, is sitting around here like on the women of prayer. I knew I wasn't going. Like, if you're not getting drafted and you play in front of me, how the hell I'm gonna go?
Right.
It ain't even about who good or not good. If you good, you start and I'm not, but neither one of us get drafted. We're in the same damn boat.
Right.
So both of us. So I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna sit around here and wait. I already see the handwriting on the wall. And so that was where I was like, okay, perfect. Where am I? I am at the University of Florida. I have a lot of great connections. So we are eventually going to win. How can I leverage these relationships or leverage these rooms to get in them to make something for myself? So that was the first reinvention I had to come to myself to admit, honestly.
So it wasn't about the schooling; it was more about the relationship.
Yeah. No, it wasn't about the schooling, man. Like, honestly, but I tell everybody this. I talk to kids. Reading, writing is everywhere.
Right.
Math and 1 + 1 is the same thing everywhere in the world. But where 1 + 1 is taught in a school, who's in that class with you? Like, you got kids. You send them. You looked at the school district before you sent them there. You did some research on, hey, where they're going to be attending. Now, I'm not saying that the teacher may not be good or bad, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it's that network. Who is going to school with your child, and who's in that room? And if your child has any sense, they're going to be like, all right. It's really about who you know. And I found that out, obviously at a young age. And that was one thing I was good at, connecting people and putting myself in those rooms and maximizing the room. And it ain't 1 + 1.
It's crazy you talking about networking, because literally, like, everything we've been doing and going and talking to people, that's literally all people say, hey, man, let's network. Let's network. And a lot of people don't understand, you can be one of the richest people in the world, right?
Correct.
If you don't have no connections, you having all that money, it ain't really that.
A lot of stuff ain't even money. A lot of stuff is that connection. Now, with that being said, you do have to bring something to the table. It ain't just come in the room. I'm in the room and I ain't bringing no value. You got to bring value. And sometimes the value is monetary. Sometimes the value is relationship or just professionalism. So you got to be on point when you get in that room. But what I'm saying, at the end of the day, you get it. Like, at the end of the day, who's in that room is going to help you. And you got to be likable, relatable. Like, you got to have a vibe about you, especially a young entrepreneur, being professional.
Right.
The basics. Being on time.
Yeah.
Being on time, being prepared, coming with something of value. Like, that's going to go further once you get in that room. Otherwise, it's going to be like, well, shit, you just like the furniture. You just here, but what real value are you bringing?
Right. So I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, because we're moving forward to use the chicken spot. You talked briefly about it, but I think you passed over the fact that you had 56 locations.
Yeah. So
at 23.
Correct. So this is how we did it, man. So full transparency, I was partnered with my best friend who was Taiwanese, and this is another thing that kind of opened my mind. So this was an Asian partner of mine. We went to the same high school together briefly, and his father was in food court franchising, but they didn't have a chicken tender concept. They'd have Chinese, they'd have teriyaki, they'd have bourbon chicken. And, back in the day when we were growing up, the mall was the hangout spot.
Right.
This was before online shopping. Like, right now, if you went on a window shop, you just on your phone.
Right.
But back when we were growing up, we walked the mall, and window shopping was actually walking.
Yeah.
And like I told somebody, I was so broke, my mama just have us in the mall sampling. Just keep sampling until your big ass get full. Right? So the food court was the spot. You want to go meet a girl, you want to go hang out, look at some shoes. And so anyway, he and I connected, and he had all the Asian concepts figured out, but he didn't have a fried chicken concept. And anybody in this time of the food court game will tell you, it's Chick-fil-A, it's Panda Express, it's McDonald's. So if you don't own them, those players are going to come in. And quite frankly, they're going to monopolize the food court. So it's just like Monopoly, right? You want to own as many houses as you can in that block. And so his dad was like, look, I know your family was in soul food restaurant. They have a great chicken recipe. I'm like, look, bro, we ain't cooking oxtails in the food court. What we doing? He's like, no, we're going to take their fried, with your blessing, I want to take their fried chicken recipe and let's put it with a boneless tenders, similar to what you see Raising Cane's doing, but ours was more homemade. You know, we had Kool-Aid, we had macaroni and cheese, we just had everything, seasoned salt on the fries, right? And so our first store was in Orlando, and we did 1.2 million. It was a tourist mall, great location, great price point, and long story short, that's what led to the growth of the concept. So and from 2007 to 2013, we grew it to about 56 locations nationwide. 1 year, I opened up 20 in 1 year from like 2008 to 09. But obviously, recession came, online shopping came, and a lot of times, man, honestly, when you're in these malls, the rents aren't favorable for the tenant. So, you know, first you don't know me. I'm just a little black dude frying chicken or whatever, give him some cheap rent. Now when you see this line, you're like, wait, his rent about to go up. Or the next time he does a deal, okay, we gave him the deal in Memorial City, but we gonna when he get to Galleria, we're going to tax him because we know he can do the sales. So that's what a lot of times, man, after a while, y'all have watched that movie, The Founder. It's not about selling hamburgers. It's about real estate. And that's really where we fail as a concept. But, so, 56 locations, 7 years,
How do you go about, do they approach you, or do y'all just like, man, how do you know when you've outgrown that one spot and you know you need to go to another mall somewhere else?
For in our particular case, keep in mind, my best friend's daddy had about 30 years worth of food court experience. So he already knew a bunch of landlords and knew a bunch of connections. And what he really was trying to do was essentially have us almost, if we didn't go in there, Chick-fil-A was going in there. So he's looking at it like, okay, and this is the thing. It's not that people take advantage of you, but as a young entrepreneur, you learn these things the hard way. So you're the rich man, you got the Chinese, the Japanese restaurant, the food court, and if you don't make a move, Chick-fil-A gonna come in. So I was almost a pawn. We're like, well, let's put chicken now there. Because if we don't put chicken now, Chick-fil-A gonna come. So for him, it was almost like, let me occupy that real estate, because even if Zach's concept doesn't do great, I'm only competing with myself. I'm not competing with Panda or Chick-fil-A. The money kind of still stays in the family, and that's kind of how we were able to grow so fast. And in some situations, you know, there was requests. Like, hey, man, we see y'all booming over there. You know, we tired of Chick-fil-A. They close on Sunday. Or, you know, honestly, Pat, I would pay the high rent. You know, if Chick-fil-A won't pay you $12, I'll pay it. You know, Chick-fil-A sometimes comes in there and they say, we Chick-fil-A, we ain't doing it. Whereas the you know, Chicken Zach or me, I'd be like, look, man, I'll come in there and I'll give you an extra 2-3 stacks because I don't have the brand name of a Chick-fil-A. So it was a little bit of both, but what it gave me, once again, when you got 56 locations, I mean, from New York, Puerto Rico to Seattle, all these different places, it's so much experience you learn dealing with customers, different customers. How do you educate a customer, right? Because how we eat chicken in the South is not how they eat it in Seattle. You know, they think sweet tea is too my sweet tea too sweet. Right over here, like it can't be sweet enough. So it's just these different things you learn as you go in these different markets. And that's why I tell people, never run from competition, because at least there's awareness. When you got to educate a customer, when I got to tell you how to do this and do that, that's a harder sell than just who likes chicken. If you like chicken, I'd rather compete with that all day. So at least I know you eat chicken.
You eat chicken.
So
Talk to us about the next step. So you're 23, you got your location. Did you scale it and sell it, or did you?
I did a little bit of both. We scaled, and then obviously we got to the 56. It didn't happen all at one time, but through those 7 years, we got to 56. And then honestly, man, I was at a break point in my life where, you know, I was about to turn 30. And honestly, man, I had never worked for anybody. All I had done was fried chicken. I wasn't Colonel Sanders. So I was like, look, I got to draw the line in the sand as to what's next for me. Like I told you, we didn't own the real estate. I'm not Colonel Sanders, right? I've done a lot. I made a lot of money, but I ain't really worked for nobody, right? I'm almost like just made cash. I'm not really wealthy. There's no real process. I got good cash flow, but if I don't take my ass to work, it's over. Or if I don't essentially, like, I'm not really building something that I can scale completely. Like, I got to 56, but can I get to 1,000? That's the real, like, rich versus how do we get to the next level. So I kind of saw the handwriting on the wall. My partners didn't want to go to own the real estate. They only want to stay in the food court. Like we say, online shopping, recession. So all these things, things of diversity make you say, like, okay, what am I doing? So truth be told, when I was 30, I actually got into corporate America. And I'm like, you know, listen to my mama, right? You know, typical black man, got to get a job now. Like, you know, she said, you chicken good, but you ain't Popeyes. What you gonna do? You know, I need my hair done. What's the deal? So here we go. So you start scrambling and making scary moves sometimes that are not authentic to you. And that's a lesson for anybody watching, man. Like, when you go with your move, stick with it, and don't let anybody sway you, because a lot of these times these people are swaying you maybe for their own interests. And I love Mama to death, but that might have been it, right? Or it might be your wife or whoever. Like, but at the end of the day, when you stick to what you believe in, just go with it wholeheartedly and don't fold on it, and eventually it will happen. And the reason I'm saying this is, I went to corporate America, I did that for 5 years, and I went right back to being an entrepreneur. So I went right back to doing what I was already planning to do. And that's just a lesson to people out there, man. I mean, we still learned a lot of great processes in corporate America. I actually did pharmaceutical sales for a company called AstraZeneca for about 5 years. And I got promoted 3 times, got great raises. But it was just one of those things where, like, I don't own it. And I'm not creating something that's going to be a legacy for me. And quite frankly, like, my creativity is capped, and obviously my money is capped. So one of those things that was like, that almost propelled me to 2019, which is kind of where you and I met, and that's when I'm like, all right, I had everything figured out except pandemic. I think we all did. I had saved up. I knew exactly kind of what I was going to do. I had hedged my bets with different, investments. Like, okay, if this don't work, I got this. But at the end of the day, here we go. Here we are. So that was 2019.
So 2019.
Yeah.
You talked about you and your homie. Y'all started this hat business for $300.
Right, yeah, that was the story. That's the $300 story. Now, we done paid it back on the back end, Brock. I ain't gonna lie, but that $300 story get everybody going.
Man, I'm telling you, you gotta tell it again, bro.
So it's what happened. So this dude was a customer. All right, so I'm a hustler, man. I had a chicken restaurant, but Pat, I swear to God, if you would have ordered sushi, I would have made some damn sushi and sold it to you. That was just me as a person. I'm not gonna change the whole menu because Pat wants sushi, but I'm gonna cater to your need, especially if you're my regular. So anybody tell you who works in the mall employees are people that keep the lights on. If they come for a Coke every day or a fry every day, I got a 10-year lease. So that $2 Coke times 30 days times 10 years, shit, you done bought my Escalade. By the time you get done drinking that Coke for 10 years, you done paid a huge bill. It's only even just with a $2 drink. And so people don't understand scale. So this was my best customer. And he was like, man, look, Zach, I'm trying to go on a diet. Like, I love the chicken, man, but I need something healthy. And I'm like, well, we got grilled chicken. He's like, yeah, but I want a real meal with some broccoli and this and that. So my homeboy owned the Chinese spot next door. I said, well, fuck it. All you want is some chicken and broccoli. Stay right here. So I get him like a nice little plate him up. Presentation beautiful. Got his grilled chicken, mushroom, little broccoli. Like, how the hell you did it? I said, don't worry about it. It's $9.99. Don't worry about how I did it. And so he and I, long story short, he was a customer, but he became a friend.
Okay.
And so now that's like 20. Let's just say that story happens in 15. So let's fast forward to 2017, he and I had a Laker game. So I moved to San Diego in 2016. He moved to LA in 2017. So we done.
But you knew he moved out there?
Yeah, we both knew. I moved to San Diego first, and he moved to LA. But what I'm trying to say, y'all from Houston, I'm from Tampa. Gas in San Diego been $6.
Oh, California.
So if you're going to Cali, it's a culture shock financially.
Bro, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, please.
We go get gas yesterday. He like, damn, gas I was like $3 or something. But I'm like, bro, how you gonna say that when we was living in LA? The motherfucker put up to the gas station. Gas $7.50, $7.70. You know what he do? He get right out the car and go pay gas. He ain't say nothing. And I was like, bro, you was paying gas and it was $7.
But you see, he got the hell out of there.
Yeah, now it's $3.
That's what I'm saying right there. So, long story short, we had that Laker game, we hanging out, chopping up. He's like, look, man, how you doing this, Zach? I'm like, look, man, if you only got one stream of revenue, you ain't gonna make it. Now, obviously, I was very liquid after I sold my chicken restaurants, and obviously, I'm a hustler. But like, look, if you just going to work, cashing your check, and coming home, LA ain't for you, man. I'll be honest with you, because they taking 40% of your check off top, so that's gone. And then here we go. Now we at the gas station with Brock for $7.50 a gallon, right? So you can imagine. And we ain't bought no food, we ain't done nothing. If God forbid something
talk about rent. Don't talk about rent.
So he was like, well, he's like, I got an idea. And he's like, well, I was like, cool, what's the idea? He's like, man, I want to sell these hats. I got this hat in vision. And I said, look, man, we done been drinking a little bit tonight. Go home, sober up. You come to me with a product, a prototype. Come to me with something serious tomorrow after you sober, and then let's just see what we got. I can't make you no promises, but what I can promise you is I can try to get it in front of the right people. And Brock, y'all know this all the time. How many people come to y'all with an idea how to spend your money? So go home, chill, relax, do the work, and if it makes sense, I can't promise you nothing, but let's see. And he one of the few people that actually took me up on that. And so our first hat was the LA prototype, the one you love. And man, I just started wearing it in front of people, and people was like, man, Dan, where you get this at? So I'm like, all right, Pat, like I ain't even trying to sell it to these people, and they buying it. So we got something, because I'm not even trying to sell it to you. Asking me, hey, bro, what's this? It's like, perfect. And so, like, that's the best sale, the organic sale. You don't want to be the used car salesman pushing something on somebody. You know, ain't nobody had to tell you what an AMG was. You knew what that was. You know, you might have to test drive it, ask a few questions, but you knew what you wanted, right? And so it's the same thing, Pat. Ain't nobody had to convince you to buy Jordans. You know, you knew exactly, might be the wrong fit, right color, but you know what you want. And so that's kind of what I like to do. I like to almost create businesses where it becomes an ecosystem and it's not forced on people. And so that's how we started, man. And like the $300 story, we both put in $300 a piece. You know, obviously got our LLC, we got some prototypes, and we got some samples, and here we go. We off to the races. And initially when we first started residency, you know, it was all about just your people in the city. You know, if you like hats, you love your city, and that's still our brand mission. But then here goes pandemic. So now immediately when you start a company, you get some sales going. You know, your ads are going great. Now it's like, all right, here this enormous adversity challenge comes. How do you handle that? How do you reinvent yourself? And here we go. And I was like, well, shit, I got to get this popping. And what I do know is football players. I'm not in the league, but I know how they think. I know what they like, and I know how we can kind of position this product to get some national exposure while during pandemic everybody's sitting on watching
everybody's sitting at home.
So it was almost a perfect storm, but it was something that forced and led us to that. But that's the $300 story. Now, why I say we paid it on the back end, you know, shit, I was making 6 figures working this job, right? I ain't doing that no more. You know, that was 5 years. So just add, you know, 200 grand times 5 years. What is that? You know, the pain. A lot of times when people are scaling a business, they don't know what it is to actually the cost of that business.
Right.
So like you make sales, but how much did it cost you to actually make those sales? And so that's where a lot of times people don't understand. Like you say, just to open up my spot cost me a stack a day just to open. Whether you come in here and grab a drink or not, I'm already 1,000 in the hole. And I think sometimes entrepreneurs just, and it's tough when you haven't done this before, but a lot of times they don't think about the true cost of the business. So that's why I say we paid on the back end.
And a lot of your lessons, because I say lessons because I don't think it's losses, lessons. No. Like, man, a lot of times, bro, you learning on the fly. Like you said, I didn't know how hard the restaurant game was, you know, and then I get into it and I'm like, oh, shit. But at the same time, I'm like, I love a challenge. Like, I want to learn. Like, I want to learn, like, how I can market to different, you know, target audiences and, you know, how I can use my neighbors and things like that. So in what cases, like, did you learn how you learn how to market? Did you learn how to market through a lot of, you know? All right,
so I call it, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to just give y'all the game, man. I call it ghetto marketing.
Ghetto marketing.
I'll tell you, and ghetto marketing works like this. Everybody like free shit. Everybody like, a millionaire like to be treated to dinner. Somebody who talk a lot like to be listened to. Somebody who famous like to be remembered. So a lot of it is just common sense. You know, and when you get to people who have, you know, let's just say the celebrities that have worn my hats, right? You know, people like Michael, right? The people, Trent Williams, Debo, all these people, right? A lot of these people, you know, have gone through vulnerable situations where maybe they've taken care of people, looked out for people, and the love that they wanted reciprocated didn't come from those people. And so it's like, damn, Big Zach thought of me. This motherfucker don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? And then how I do it is I don't want nothing from you. It's not obviously I'm dying. Brock, please put this fucking hat on. Of course I want you to wear the product. Why would I send it? But I'm not calling Brock, hey, it's 2:15. Don't remember, Brock, you about to walk out, put the buffs on, put the hat on. I never do that. Let him chill. If he wear it, if he don't, if he throw it in the trash, like, God bless it. My heart is clean and I've done my part. And I think just that organic spirit of not pressuring people, but providing value and actually doing the research, seeing what they like, that's the ghetto marketing of how I was able to position it. And really doing the research. Like I'll tell you with Trent. Trent was already wearing a hat, but I was just watching his like documentary and stuff, and I saw he had obviously his SBG insignia on his plane. And so, you know, when they drafted him, they said Trent Silverback Williams. So I'm just looking at this doc, and in this documentary, he wearing my hat. But it's, you know, you wearing it, but you ain't really, like, you doing it, but I want you really in this shit. Like, how can I call it getting sticky. Like, I know you fucking with it, but how can I really get you to scale this relationship or scale what we doing? So I hit him up. I say, Trent, man, you mind if I put this gorilla on the hat? And I'm like, look, we're not even going to sell it. This is just a gift to you. And he hit me back in literally half a minute with the logo, like, go ahead, run it. And the reason I bring that up is if somebody gonna put a gorilla on a $30 million plane, this gorilla is near and dear to their fucking heart. So if you put him on a hat, chances are you got a shot. But the point I'm trying to make ain't about the plane, the gorilla, or Trent. It's about understanding your client base, understanding your person, understanding like what they really like and what resonates. Like if you don't ever wear hats, you might be the best player in the world, but I'm not gonna send you one. It just and when I get a hoodie or a shirt, I might hit you up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just gonna really do my research. Like I ain't never seen Pat wear that a day in my life. Like, I mean, yeah, it might be nice to get some free shit. You might give it to your little cousin or something, but it's not really resonating with you. And I think a lot of times with the marketing people, they don't do that. And the reason why I call it ghetto marketing is because I'm doing it on the drop of a dime. Right. How could have I afforded to pay Brock in 2019 and didn't know him? Right. Advertising companies come to him, you know, it's a bag. He ain't just doing this shit for free. Right. How could, like literally, George Kittle costs $250,000 anytime he do something. Why would he wear my hat just on the strength of that I just sent it? So it was ghetto marketing because it was free, but to a certain extent it was genius because of the thought process that was put into it. And the other part of ghetto marketing is it's got to lead to a sale. Yeah. It's got to lead to ROI. You can have the flyest outfit in the world, but if we're not, you know, we're here to do business. Right. So if you're not generating sales, is we just look fly as fuck and we ain't made no money. And that's not what we're trying to do. And a lot of times when you deal with marketing companies, they'll give you a good strategy, but they won't put their money where their mouth is for the ROI. Right. Oh, we got a plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do the decor. You ain't told me one sentence about how we're going to get customers in these seats. Right. You done told me to paint. You done told me all this. We need to make Quad ordering for this food and popping these bottles. Yeah. Tell me the plan for that. And so that's the thing, too, that I try to deliver is like it's a great marketing strategy, but let's be real here. Like the marketing strategy has to develop sales. Yeah.
So there's basically, I think they call it just like flipping the customer.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta flip them, but what I like to do, and I use companies like Apple, for example, right? We all got iPhones. You in an ecosystem. If somebody takes you with them fucking green dots, Pat, you gonna throw that phone across the room, right? You like, man.
You start feeling certain
you ain't want to write back. Yeah. It could be a good person. It could be a great.
Do not add them to the group chat. They can't go to the group chat.
So that's an ecosystem. God forbid you lose your iPad or lose your like you buying a whole new thing. Like you feel naked, and so that's what good customers like. That's what a good brand does, right? Is how does that brand make you feel? Obviously, it's got to be a great product, but you wearing Rolex for a reason. You driving the Benz for a reason. You know, you wearing Jordans for a reason. Yeah, the Jordans are dope, but chances are, how did Jordan make you feel? If you my age, shit, every time Jordan came on, my world stopped. Right. So the shoes are dope, but everything stops when he come on. Right. Yeah. And that's the brand feeling. It's bigger than the person.
Because you told me, like, what resonated with me and what I keep trying to tell Pat is, like, because Pat is, like, he about the numbers. I'm about the numbers, too, but I'm like, Pat, bro, you remember what Zach said, bro? If you're not willing to give it out for free, like what kind of product do you have? Okay, you know what I mean? Like how you feel about that?
you gonna hear me? So let's talk about it for free, right? So let's just say, you know, if you put me on the spot, and right, what would I do, or how would I do it again? Because I always tell people, right, you know, you do it once, people call it luck. You do it twice, you're a real fucking hustler. Right. Like you know, you do it you hit rock bottom twice and bounce back. You really about that shit. Yeah. So what I always say is like, okay, is it really free? So like we just said, I ain't know him. And if I didn't really do my homework and come with a product that he liked, that's half a ticket. That's half a ticket I would have had to pay Brock if I didn't nail it. Thank God I nailed it. He liked the LA hat. He still ain't took that shit off. Yeah. I brought some more. But if I didn't nail it, that's a half a ticket I would have had to pay him. Right. So what is a $12 hat versus what if I did? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like what's the cost of doing business? So at the end of the day, now, where I get pissed off is if I send it to people and you know it's something you like and you don't wear it, and that's when I'm like, well, damn. Like, you asked me for it, you know, here we go. Now we got dead product. Right. But for somebody I don't know who would have been a huge marketing investment that I would have had to pay financially if I didn't know him or didn't do my research, to me, it's all profit. Like, I use Kittle example, use Trent, use any of these people. If they didn't like it, or if it was just a business transaction, how much that would have cost me? I ain't had that kind of capital when I first started. So, yeah, I'm crazy giving away $12 hats, but shit, you know, see what they done made me. Right. Right now, my grandma said, your hand like this, can't nobody take nothing out of it, but can't nobody put nothing in that motherfucker. Right. So you got to have it, you got to understand that both ways, like it's got to go. But where I'm with you, Pat, if I send in stuff, I put a package together, and you ain't did your thing, now come on.
Right. Yeah, because with him, I'll be like, we gonna send it to you for free, right? But you didn't ask for anything in return. But with me, because it's like now the way everything is I just want some type of a picture. I'm not asking for, hey man, go to. No. I just look, bro, just take a picture of that stuff, right? Because one thing you'll do with those brands who don't give a fuck about you, you'll make sure you take a picture in it.
You will, right? You will, but you're getting paid.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like, those brands, there's a
like
lot of people.
Gucci, Louis, like that.
So I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of players who just go spend all their money on that shit. Even regular people.
Well, that's a whole nother podcast because that ain't about the brand. That's about validation. Yeah. I'm gonna wear this shit because I want to be validated in it. It's a brand, like, you know what Louis and Gucci cost.
Right.
So if I go spend something on that, it's not so much. I obviously want to look good, but you know what I spend in that store to get this. So it's a validation thing.
But when my thing on that is, if I fuck with you, you say you fuck with me, right? I send you something free.
Completely.
Can I get that same?
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? We the homie. It's different versus you buying a brand. This motherfucker don't know who you are.
Take it a step further, Pat. When did Louis and Gucci, all these places got validated through us?
Yeah, facts.
From Pac wearing Versace.
And another thing is, when you wear their clothes, they not posting you on their story.
Hell no.
They not posting you on their timeline.
They don't give a fuck
when
about
you rock out with shit and you send me a picture, you going straight on our Instagram page. You know what I'm saying? So you getting some type of, like, but those people, you say it's validation, but it sucks because it be pissing me off. And you be like, man, bro, I be like, look, bro, we took our time out of our day.
So I have, I mean, and like I said, I have a strategy, right, where I could just give you some game on residency.
Okay, talk to
Where
me.
residency hit the nail on the head was they still don't give a fuck about Big Zach. Yeah, right. We here today, and I'm gonna tell some good stories and experiences, but people don't care about me. People care about their city. Yeah. So what residency, the brilliant part of residency did was we put on the heartstring piece of where people are from. You from Houston, you from LA, you from San Fran. That will never change. That love and that affection for that city will never change. So that was number one. Then number two, an exclusive product, quality. Maybe it fits a little different. Maybe we got a different colorway that New Era don't have. So the second piece was the product piece. The third thing, how we really resonated with athletes was, don't nobody want to wear something to Nobu that the equipment man done handed them.
Yeah.
If I'm pulling out, I'm Trent, I'm Brock, I'm Debo, whoever, I'm hopping in my Benz or my Cullinan or whatever, like, I want to look exclusive. And I don't mind representing my city, but I ain't wearing nothing that's in my jock strap.
Yeah.
So that was how we hit the player piece. Now, if I'm Brock brand, if you put me on the spot with, like, okay, how do I pull that same heartstring piece for Brock brand? Yeah. You got to resonate with what he went through. So it's about Brock because you went through it, but it's almost, to me, if I'm creative director or whoever, it's almost like, how can I resonate that story of struggle with the product to essentially get these baby Brocks? It's almost these baby Brocks that I'm trying to raise that resonate with the struggle I went through, and that's the clothing we're gonna make for them. So it says Brock brand, and we know I'm the owner, you know you the man running the show, but it's about that heartstring piece. Your lights been cut off like Brock. That's the motherfucker out here. You hungry when you was out there on 3rd and 11 and had to make that play. Like you trying to do longevity. Like, long story short, like, you whiteboard everything that you went through, and now that's the brand. Just like the city. You don't care about me, but you love San Francisco.
Right.
Maybe you tired of that Giants logo. Maybe not. Maybe you still like that Giants logo. Like, it doesn't. Yeah. I'm not like it's enough money out here for everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm pulling that heartstring piece. So that's what customers care about, and that's how you essentially scale it. Because a lot of times, if I put Zach King on that shit, ain't nobody gonna buy it.
Right.
They might. A lot of people is haters. A lot of people's haters. Most people don't even know you. Right, man. Fuck Zach. I don't even like the chicken. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like damn, bro. Like, you never know. So that's what I always tell people. Like, that's what the smartest people have done. I mean, it's been done over and over. Versace did it. Tommy Hilfiger did it. Polo did it. Like, we ain't buying Polo because Ralph Lauren looked good in it.
Right.
You ain't really buying Versace or Gucci because they look good. Somebody wore that the feeling and nostalgia of the brand was created by somebody else, and that's how they got it pop.
Man, that's some gems,
so I'm just giving you the game.
No, I appreciate
that. Like Versace was Versace, but when Pac wore that bitch shirt off through the casino, that's what I got on.
That's what it made, yeah.
Right? When Biggie was on the boat with the glasses and, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when I fell in love with Versace, but Versace started way before that. But it's talking about getting it to pop. Like, let's take a step further. Like, like, when did people stop fucking with Tommy? So it's the same type of situation. Like, how do you make people feel, and how do you tap into that market and scale it?
Man, talk about being like an attribute that you feel like that's needed to be a boss? Like you've owned stuff since 23.
Right. So undeniable faith. Undeniable faith.
Undeniable. What you mean
I'm talking about undeniable faith. Mama gonna call you crazy. Your old lady gonna call you crazy. Everybody you love is gonna expect you to fold. And to a certain extent, they gonna hope you fold because folding is easier. Folding is easier. Come home, you tired. You working on Christmas. Damn, you gonna miss Easter. Like all these different things. So undeniable faith, because if you don't believe in it, then who else will? So I'll give you a true story. I started my hat company. My mama thought I was crazy. She's like, your big ass head. Like, you don't even look good in hats. And you talking about you gonna start a hat company? What about this 6-figure job? Why you gonna leave this? You gonna leave a guaranteed check to go sell baseball caps? But when Derek Carr put that motherfucker on, mama's baby. Mama's baby. I knew you was gonna do it. So, you have to have that undeniable faith. But if I didn't believe in that, then I never would have got to the Derek Carr moment with mama. Or I never would have done it. So that's the first thing. And I think why it's almost like undeniable faith part 2 is because along that course and journey, you're gonna catch so much hell getting to eventually your goal, whether it be financial, whether especially young business. You're trying to, a lot of this stuff is gatekeepers. Gatekeepers closing the door on you. Companies are already cutting deals with bigger companies. It's not that we don't like to have, but we getting a huge bag from over here, Zach. So it's all these different hurdles and obstacles that you're gonna have to deal with. But the undeniable faith that like it's gonna pan out, and with that faith is sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things. Like you're gonna have to pay it. But anybody can tell you anything that y'all gone through personally, even being right here, like it didn't happen easy, and it didn't come without sacrifice and undeniable faith.
Tell me this: does the undeniable faith and the staying in your lane, does that kind of flow together, or like how do you see that? Because like in my mind, I feel like if you got blinders on and we not focused on the top boutique brands in there, we just focus on Brock brand in itself. Like you said, what it means, the behind scenes of what Brock brand is. We don't need to focus on nobody else. So do we have to put blinders on and be like, okay, we just in our own fucking lane. We not watching nobody else?
So this where. No, I love this type rooms like this because everybody knows sports.
Right.
So I'm gonna use sports analogy. For example, you need to be focused. You need to be laser focused on your goals, but you need to identify your goals. What are those goals? Financial, brand identity, all of the things from the top to the bottom. Now, by doing that, that's just like saying, Brock, damn, we're gonna work out every day, we're gonna lift weights, but we ain't gonna watch no game film. That's basically what you're telling me. We just gonna work out, we're gonna lift weights, we're gonna run, we're gonna do the scout team, but you're not gonna watch any game film. You play Alabama next week. So hell yeah, I'm watching game film. And when I'm watching game film, that doesn't mean that I'm changing my whole business model. But now I'm watching. Damn, okay, Trent, you put on the Miri jacket. Okay, boom, okay. I know I need a Leatherman jacket. Okay, Debo, you're doing everything with your son right now. Don't worry, I got them Slime Bowl Juniors coming for your son. Yeah, okay, kiddo, your hair grew a little longer like the white boys. Okay, yeah, let me get a little athletic hat that matches that. Like I'm studying. It's literally surgery. Damn, let's be honest, right? Like, Trent had brain cancer. Trent had brain cancer. Like he cares about his appearance. He cares about wearing a hat. He's gonna be seen in a hat. Like doing research. So you setting your goals for your company, but we still watching game film. I don't care, right? Because if you don't, you're gonna fall off. Because they watching film on you. Because at the end of the day, if you're taking market share, believe they watching film.
Thanks.
Come on. No, facts. That's why I love getting insight from other entrepreneurs.
All day long. But I'm not gonna change my whole model. Damn, them Amiri hats look good. We gonna stop selling hats? Hell no.
Right.
I'm gonna retweak my game plan. We still doing the same thing, but I'm gonna tailor it for my clientele. And I'm like I said, I tell people I'll just be vulnerable with y'all. Like I don't play fair. I don't play fair. Like if I want something, by any means, whatever it take, whatever it take to get
because
it.
Because they gonna do it,
100%. And I'm already batting. I'm batting all because I'm in a room where maybe they don't even want me in or something like that. Like I'll give you an example. Pro Bowl. Do I talk about don't pay fair?
Yeah.
Some of it is something just to make you laugh. So we Pro Bowl. You in Vegas. Only place they play hip hop is Dre's.
Yeah.
All right. So I know where everybody going to listen to music at Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I ain't going to the club that night. I ain't. But I got a whole presence at the club. So it's only one way to walk in through Cromwell, through Valet. I got all my residency branded cars parked there. So when you walk your ass to Dre's, you see the cars. The DJ at Dre's is wearing my hat. He'd go a couple $100, throw us on the marquee. So, like, if you popping bottles in there as a player, you like, God damn, Big Zach. I went through Valet. I seen you. I seen Resident Sprinters all out there. I go in the club, the DJ got on the hat, and if that ain't enough, here we go. Right? It's just being creative and getting your product placement there. Because what are we selling? We sell a lifestyle. So you in a club, you know, you want to see a Mary, I got a big time you to make you feel that we equal, no problem. No problem. But it's not vulgar, but it's just like it's a presence. It's a presence. It's marketing. And they do the same thing. You play in an arena, they got the brands up there.
Everywhere.
They playing music on purpose. They got so all of this stuff is you've seen being done to you, but it's time to do it back to the other people. Right? It's time to like, okay, these strategies have been played on customers. If I'm trying to start a business, how do I do the same thing?
Damn. So tell me about like the game is changing. Like the fashion game is changing. Like how do you continue to keep up with that?
Okay, so there's two ways. The business way to keep up with it is to keep customers engaged. So once you create this ecosystem, you create almost a buying ecosystem. So Jordan has the perfect analogy. That you know Christmas, you know what Jay's gonna come out. You know what to expect. So you create, you know, before we can talk about the fashion, you in a fashion business. So let's talk about the business part, and then we'll talk about how do we do the fashion part. The business part is once you create an ecosystem, getting them almost on a diet and a routine. I know they're going to drop this day. I know what to expect. Then from a customer service standpoint, I know what to expect. Because the last thing you want to do is get a customer and then you lose them because of poor customer service. So I brought you in. It's so hard to get that retention. I brought you in. Now I've lost you because we didn't do something right. So your whole ecosystem from purchasing to retaining the customer to getting that customer on a routine, you know what the damn double cheeseburger is going to taste like when you go to McDonald's. It's the consistency of that and getting them in that ecosystem. Now, from a fashion standpoint, you know, I'm a big believer in having almost like an assortment. You're going to have certain customers that just want a basic, the routine hat. Like our number one selling hat at Residence is a black and white hat. Because you can match that with everything. What you got on right now? Black and white hat. What you got on right now? A reverse of that. What I got on. So our number one selling hat is a black and white hat. Why? Doesn't get dirty. You can wear it with anything. Let's be honest. Some people want to get use out of their product. I can wear this a bunch of times. So you almost have like what you call a staple. This is almost like what you expect as a customer. And then now you maybe get creative with a little spin-offs. Maybe it's a two-tone. Maybe it's a reverse. Like you kind of like give them a different flair to kind of see what will go.
How much product do you push into that new little drop that you?
Yeah, so for us, it's a little easier because we are an online business for the most part. So a lot of our stuff can be a digital drop that we don't even have to really physically have. I mean, obviously, when they order, we have to, you know, go immediately into production of it. But I'd say, man, you don't want to have gluttony with dead inventory, man. You don't want to be out because if you're out, if you don't have it, you will never sell it. But you don't want to create a situation where you have so much dead inventory because a lot of this stuff is cash flow. And if you have dead inventory, then obviously you got dead cash flow. But like for me, how I would introduce it, I would do that flavor. I've got a basic. And then I have like almost an exclusive brand because I'm giving you a different fashion taste, but I'm also giving you a different customer base. Everybody can't afford, you know, an AMG. So that's why they got the basic, right? It's both. You give them both. But you also give them something to strive for. Like, damn, when I get my paycheck, damn, that's the one I really want. That's the one I'm saving up for. And the last way, the main answer to your question is, how do you introduce that product into the marketplace? And that's where ghetto marketing comes in. Once Debo go out there and do his thing, once Brock Purdy do his thing, you know, that's how you're going to see it. Because at the end of the day, that's who you love. You love your city. You love the best people on your team. You love how they make you feel, and quite frankly, you strive to be them, either financially, physically, or from a sports standpoint. So it's almost like the players or the people who are the hype people. That's my muse. That's how I'm gonna get it to pop. But I got to introduce it through them. It's a psychological game as much as it is a business game.
Facts. Because I like quality over quantity. Like are you the same way when it comes to your business?
So I'm gonna tell you this. I am, but then I'm not. So I'm going to tell you, one of my mentors said something, Brock. He said, you make something for poor people, you live like a king. You make something for kings, you live like a poor person. And so that always fuck with my head. Now, do I love quality? Of course. I think you need to have both. So I use Trent, for example, because Trent is very exclusive and likes quality stuff. You know, I know sometimes with exclusive, people want to be not only quality, but they want to be the first one with it.
Okay.
So that's trend. I want the most expensive, and I want to be the first one with it. So I'm gonna hit the block first with it, and you know what it is when you see it coming. Yep. So that's an exclusive. You have customers like that. But to be quite frank with you, most of your customer base can't afford that. You know, it's it's a reason why you got the Rolls Royce 2 months for everybody else.
They still like looking at it.
But they like looking at it. Yeah. But as far as what's gonna get that cash register going is almost creating stuff for the masses that you can scale. So it's a chicken and the egg conversation. I need somebody who understands exclusivity and loves quality. But the average customer gonna go on that site and be like, damn, I don't feel like paying $220 for that hat. Right. Man, Trent look good, a motherfucker, but I don't know business.
Right. Nah, facts.
So give me the $35 and it still got the same logo on it, but you know I ain't Trent and you know I ain't Brock, but I'm all right. At least I'm in the neighborhood. You know, I know it's a C class, but I'm in the neighborhood.
Right.
You know, it ain't the big body, but I'm here. At least it's got Ben's logo on it. And that's how most customers feel. That's the honest to God truth. But you got to have both as a business person. You got to. You know what I mean? Y'all sell looking here. How many people popping Louis the 13th every night? I mean,
right. Yeah, ain't nobody.
Hey, man, give me that. You know what I'm saying? Give me that motherfucker Corona.
Happy Louis. Ain't nobody popping that. That's $400 a shot or some shit.
So you see what I'm saying?
So when it comes to that, right? So I had a question. How do you approach decision making with risk taking, and like how do you manage both of those?
Okay, so no risk without reward. We know that.
Okay,
everybody says that, but take a calculated risk and also hedge your bet.
Okay,
so it's just, I mean, it's really gambling.
Yeah,
it's a risk. We gonna gamble, but I'm gonna do some research. You know who the Astros playing tonight? I'm gonna do some research on it, and I'm gonna hedge my bet. And I might put $50 on the Devil Rays too. And so that's how I do it with a business. But I'm still going with my move, and I'm doing with undeniable faith, conviction, but I'm also going to hedge my bet. And sometimes hedging my bet is not even, with business, it's not even financial as it is. I just want Brock to see that I'm working. So I sent Brock them hats, but I sent Taylor Rapp them hats. Come on now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I sent McVay them hats. I sent the equipment man them hats.
Yeah.
I pulled up last day I did the podcast with y'all. I had just left the Ram facility and I dropped off some hats. Yeah. So I'm praying Brock do his thing. And I know he is. Thank God now that we right.
Yeah.
But Brock like to see me working. Sometimes your most exclusive person be like, damn, I don't want to just be. I want to be the main person. Like, damn, be like, what else? Am I the only person wearing these hats?
Yeah.
Like, you always want people to feel like you working. You working. When you go in there, you saw Jalen wore that shit too. You know, it's like, damn, be like, you motherfucker really working. Like, I like the product, and he obviously you got to still take care of your people. Don't forget, you know, once Jalen wear it, now Brock ain't getting his package no more. Come on, can't do business like that.
Right.
But people like to see you working, and especially people that have grinded to get where they at, they love that because everybody asks for a free lunch.
Man, that's crazy, bro. Cause I mean, you don't think about it, but like I tell Pat, I was like, bro, long as we got motion, bro.
Correct.
Long as we got motion, bro. And I've also heard like a counter to that is like, hey, if you got motion and you running in place, what kind of motion is that? What do you think about those two?
Yeah, so you know, Denzel has that quote, right? Don't basically confuse you know, just like progress with just being busy or just doing stuff, right? So, you know, I think there's certain levels of that. When you get to a certain level, you need to pick and choose ROI, time management, and you really need to learn how to process what's the best time or best use of your time.
Right.
But quite frankly, when you're trying to scale, you don't know. Like I use you as an example because obviously you here, but like when I sent you that package, I sent to other people. I didn't know who was gonna wear it first. I mean, you might have thrown it in the trash and Taylor Rapp might have put it on, or vice versa, right? So luckily both y'all wore it, but it's a situation where like you really don't know. So was I running in place, or was I really being strategic?
Right.
It's like fishing. You're gonna cast a net. You know, you might catch a big one, you might catch a small one, but if you don't cast that big net, so I do get it. But like I use Denzel because that's the person I remember saying that. It's like there is a certain level when you get to a certain level and you paid your dues, you're like, okay, I need to scale back and I need to maybe stop killing myself or running in place. The last part of your question, I think from a customer standpoint, sometimes it ain't just motion. Customers need to see consistency. So you like, well, damn, we just running in place. This era that we live in now, you come up with an idea tomorrow and they fall off the next day.
Right.
So customers need to see that consistency. So sometimes you run it in place, at least they see you running. And it might be a new customer that sees you running.
Right.
You see, in your mind, you just running in place, but
yeah.
it's 5 different customers that have seen you running in place. So they like, well, damn, every time I go by there, I see Brock and Pat running. I don't know what they're doing, but they're running. That's the consistency we're trying to build, because I saw that with people like my own customers. First people I would cold call, man, I had to beg them to wear the hat.
Right.
Them same people came back and bought their own. But if I would have shut down, if I wasn't consistent, if they hadn't consistently seen me grinding, you would have lost that customer.
Right.
You ever had it to a situation where you shooting the messages out to people and they're like, "Hey, bro, stop writing me like, nah, I'm good."
So what I do, I have language that I use, man, and I like I say, this thing about me, anybody that watch, I will give you all the game. I tell you how I did it, when I did it, what hat I had on when I did it. Yeah. But I tell people this: I create certain language of no pressure. So what I do is, so we say in sales, the best thing besides a yes is a quick no.
Yeah.
I told y'all I was a hustler, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give away. I'm gonna give away out, Pat. You know what, Pat, man? I got a badass white and black hat that'll go great with that fit. As soon as I get back home, shoot me the address. I'll send it to you. You know, hey, man, but no pressure. If you don't want to give me your address, or, hey, if it ain't the right fit, no problem. Because I'm almost begging for you to tell me no so I can get the fuck on. So I'm almost, in a nice way, praying you tell me no. Because if you tell me yes and you full of shit, then that's almost worse than a no.
Right.
So it's either Zach, I'm going to put this thing on tomorrow, or it's no, Zach, God bless you, you a nice dude, but I just ain't fucking with it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather the quick no, and that's what we say in sales. The best thing besides yes is a quick no. But I have language that I write when I hit people. No pressure, just checking in. Hey, man, you know, I think it will go great, but it's always a checkout.
Right.
And even in emails, it allows people, it's just a way to cut through the shit. And most people are non-confrontational. So in a nice confrontational way, I'm giving you a way out. Please leave if it's not the right fit.
Right.
Please leave. Go wear your new era hat if it's not the right fit. And everybody, I'm still gonna be all right.
Nah,
I'm gonna be all right, whether right. And that's how you have to let them go. And eventually, once you start with that confidence, they'll come back. They'll come back. It's just like a female. Like, hey, if I ain't the right one for you, baby, you know what I'm saying? How many times we see people come back?
Facts.
So there you go.
Oh, my bad. What you gonna say?
You ever deal with pressure from big brands, like people like, hey man, stop sending so and so these hats.
Okay, so I guess
so
obviously the biggest pressure is the elephant in the room is the league.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about it. I'm in your hood. I'm in your hood cooking barbecue. And
ain't pay. And
100%.
You know what's crazy? I think you ever heard of the Wee Ball Sports guy? He does like those streamer towels that like one of the biggest players was Jalen Ramsey, right?
Okay.
They wear like those long towels.
Yep.
And it's the team colors or whatever.
Correct.
They made him. I think that he had to stop selling to players in the league, or he had to stop posting players in the league because.
Right.
The NFL, like, hey, these players are wearing our logo.
So that's the
obviously
obviously the biggest pressure. But I think pressure makes you find ways to be creative and to come up with different angles. And as long as you got to be legally protected, and you that undeniable faith, and understand that you got a great product that can resonate, whatever. So a lot of these things that we go back to the beautiful part about residency. I love sports and I love football to death, but this brand was intended for people that love their city.
Yeah.
That could be Formula One players. That could be hockey players that's holding up the Stanley Trophy win. Right? It could be tennis players, golf. Like, we love football to death. Please, but at the end of the day, this brand is for everybody. So that's the thing too. When you create a brand, when you do that whiteboard in the beginning, you got to really say, okay, if we just doing streamer towels and send them to Jalen, you know, no offense, but is our business handicapped? Now, number one, if Jalen stopped wearing it, what do we do? But then number two, if the league send me a letter, what do I do? Who else can wear these towels?
Right.
Do fishermen wear these towels? Do Formula One drivers wear these towels?
Yeah.
Do mamas on Mother's Day wear these towels?
Yeah.
So he's almost, no offense, but it's almost you creating a business that it's a one-trick pony from day one. And so it's the league, obviously the league sent you the letter. We don't wish that on anybody. But when you really take a look in the mirror, like, damn, you know, why ain't make a baby towel?
Right.
People got kids, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get your
you.
mind thinking like where no door is closed on you. So like, okay, no problem. You know, a lot of people in the league play golf. You wear hats on the golf course, right? So if the league send me a letter, PGA ain't sent me no letter, right? You always got to, it's like you stick and move and bounce off of those different things of adversity. Right.
That's crazy. What has been your most influential moment? Yeah, I know there's been a lot, but what do you think has been your most influential moment like you've had, like while owning a business, being an entrepreneur?
Man, I think the most influential moment is a true story, man. Before when we started residency in like around 2021, right before it really popped, I actually got rushed to the hospital, man. I had diabetes and didn't know.
Oh shit.
And so we go back to this undeniable faith, right? Literally, if my blood sugar was 823, and if I hadn't got to the hospital in like an hour, like ain't no telling what would have happened. It was like a life or death situation. I was in ICU for 7 days. But the reason why I say that was an influential moment because it was a perfect moment where I could have said, man, let me go ahead and fold and give it up.
Yeah.
And literally that happened in February. I say in July of 2021, that same year is when we went viral and it went crazy. So it was an influential moment. You know, it's probably when you're in that hospital bed and everybody laying around you, you know, they been wanted you to quit. Oh, now you got to give up, Zach. You about to die now. Come on, now we done with this shit. But it's like, you know what, man? Like, you know, I told God, don't let me up out of here unless you got a plan for me, unless you really feel like I can really be a multimillionaire with this shit. Whether it's hats or whatever, but like, you know, if you don't feel like it's for me to get up out of here, just let me go.
Right.
What was that feeling like? You come home, or I don't know when you figured out you went viral. Like you check your phone.
Oh, okay. So
and then you see your shit going viral.
ICU was February. The viral part was like late July. Obviously a great feeling, man. Undeniable feeling to see the fruits of the labor come through. To a certain extent, you know, people don't realize, like we talk about, you pray for the sales, you pray for this moment, but now you got to get ready for the moment.
But what happened though? Like, how did you know?
Oh, I mean, Shopify was going crazy.
Oh, okay.
I threw my phone away. I said, man, I should put the police come. This motherfucker, this ain't going that big.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you take my phone, mama. I ain't holding this motherfucker. Something like, but honestly, I knew what was going on. Like, so long story short, what happened is we went on Reddit. The 49ers that week, everybody from Shanahan, Trey Lance when he was there, Debo Trent, they all went to press conferences and wore a hat, and then now that went on Reddit. And so now people were like, well, damn, where's this hat from? They found out, you know, through whatever viral link that it was our hat.
Right.
And that's how we got the sales. But no, that's how I found out was through my Shopify app. But that's how it happened. But to my point after that, now we got to get ready. Yeah. Because the last thing you can do is not deliver on a product. So you got what you prayed for. Now we got to go into production. I got to deliver these hats. I mean, our sales probably went up 1,000% overnight because of that viral moment. And so I tell entrepreneurs, the number one thing you don't do is slow down momentum. So it's like being in a car going down a hill in a fast car. Don't hit the brakes. Just ride that shit out because this is what you prayed for. You done prayed for $10,000 days. Now you got them.
Right.
Now you got them every day. So now we got to deliver. And unfortunately, but fortunately, the world we live in, people compare you to Amazon. They order their product, they want their fucking hat.
Right.
Yeah.
And the last thing you can do is not deliver because then it goes back to, see, this is why we deal with the big boys.
Right.
Because the big boys deliver. And they might not have the same fly hat that Debo has on, but, you know, they delivering on what we're saying. So you got to be ready for that moment. But that was it, man. The ICU and then the Reddit moment. Those are two, like, almost life and death and negative but beautiful influential moments.
Good. That was good.
I was going to ask you what was a significant milestone that you didn't reach, but do you feel like that was one of them?
No, I think the significant milestone that I've reached is as a brand, right? You know, you can convince one person, but can you convince 20? And this past year, we actually opened up, you know, a round of funding for investors. Some of these investors were people I scouted, maybe it was an agent or a marketing person, or it maybe was a player, or maybe it was even a customer. We even had customers be like, damn, I really love this shit, Big Zach. Like, how can I be down? And so the great moment for that was, you know, I think it's just like your kid. You think your kid the smartest, the best looking, whatever, the best athlete. But when other people so it's like, damn, this is a baby that I've created. And now we've done the work, we've put the effort in, and now other people are like dying to invest in it.
Right.
That's when I knew that was a great feeling because like, okay, mama, you know, am I crazy now?
Yeah.
I got 20 people lined up with a bag.
Yeah, shout out mama.
Right, shout out mama. Love mama to death, but mama's not an entrepreneur.
but you always
that was a moment.
That,
you do though.
You do need that because like you don't need some like. I feel like you don't always need somebody to praise you.
No, you don't need a yes man.
Need, like I need it. I feel like in my life for people to be like, I don't know if you can go to the NFL. Like, yeah, that sound good. You know, cause it almost like I'm gonna prove your ass wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like I didn't need nobody to be up there.
No.
Oh, you can do it. Da, da, da. Like
you need
I
both.
feel like I need it. Yeah. No, for sure. Fact.
Yeah.
You need both. But I felt like I fed more off of the. I don't know, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna do this shit. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get to the NFL. I wanted to get to that level, and it didn't matter what it took. And like you said, it was some sacrifices.
100%.
Like I couldn't go out and party and be at every
event.
You can't. You know, I was more focused on I'm gonna get to the league. 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get there. So like thinking about. You
definitely need both, though.
You need both.
Right, but I tell this, the reason I say the entrepreneur part, and the reason the reason I say this is because I give Mama a hard time, but so many people, it's their family. It's not somebody down the street. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, if they're cheering against you, that's motivating too, but it's that person close to you. It's like that infant stage in a baby. And that first person that's close to you is the one that can kill that dream if you don't push through it. And then the last part of it is, once you prove Mama wrong. Keep in mind, Mama, I bought your first BMW when I was 25.
Come on, man.
What you talking about? I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've already shown you, you already in the league.
Right.
Like, damn, I'm in the league now. You still think I can't make it? So it's like, come on. But so young entrepreneurs, man, that's my advice. Start early. Tune out that noise. I don't care if it's mama, daddy, sister, brother. That's huge because those people can really deter.
Okay, so how can somebody such as yourself, say somebody become a really their company goes berserk, right? How can you give somebody some advice on how to balance a work life?
Ain't no personal life. Ain't no personal life.
Okay.
I ain't had an off day in 5 years. You gon' like I say, anybody tell you that is a damn lie. Yeah. Christmas, birthday, Easter, all that shit. I'm telling you right now, man. I pray you do have time to separate for that, but you're gonna have to be selfish to really follow your dream. And I'll be honest with you, you gotta have the right partner who understands that and who's down for that. And this is what we signed up for. And I tell my wife the same thing. Look, man, I don't care if your ex-boyfriend buy a hat.
Right.
Like, hey,
right.
I'm really, come on, man. As long as you pay for that shit. I pray you go out to Quad tonight or whoever, have a good time.
Yeah.
But that's how you really got to be maniacal with it, man. But it's no, you talking about, I'm going to take an off day today. Like, that's the biggest misconception. When you work for yourself, because you can't blame nobody else.
Right.
When you got a job, you can be like, man, my boss ride me, man. They don't like me over there. But when that shit say Zach King at the top, like, who you going to blame? So, that's the thing. That's why it's so important to do something you love, so it never feels like, well, damn, I'm slaving every day, or damn, when I'm gonna get an off day. So that's the part of it too.
Man.
I think eventually you can grow to that work-life balance through setting up processes and setting up a system. But in the initial years, man, you fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself.
Yeah.
You fooling yourself. You think you're gonna be in Cancun after you open up this LLC, man.
Right.
that ain't gonna happen.
Because so many people think like, oh, I want to be a boss. I want to boss people around. I want to tell you. But a boss, now that you done said it, and so many people, they talk about, bro, I ain't never had an off day. I ain't had, we had my dentist in here, and I was talking to him. He was like, bro, I ain't had an off day in 3 years.
Totally. And I'm going to tell you another thing.
But when you're doing something that you love, it would actually really feel like work, though.
It doesn't. But you working your ass off, but it don't feel like work. The other thing, a lot of bosses don't want to admit, man, if you ain't took a loss, how can you really be a boss? When them invoices come, when them payments come, how many times I had to pay people I ain't get paid?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one of those things too, man. They don't, it's glamorous to have the title, and a lot of people are doing stuff for clout or position or damn, who gonna wear my thing? But man, at the end of the day, like that's not really a real boss, and you gotta understand that, man. Like, if anything, you bossing yourself around and really asking more of yourself.
Right.
I'm asking more of myself as a leader rather than just pointing the finger at other people to do it.
So look, so you didn't grow to from the chicken spot to where you at now with residency. Like, looking back at the 19, 20-year-old Zach from where you are now, what would you tell the future Zach? What would you tell to
all right,
the
so
past
this is deep because a lot of us as quite frankly is minority black entrepreneurs, black men have this problem. So the first thing is I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur at 17.
Right.
I started at 23. Now, obviously, mama said go to college, get your degree down, and I met a lot of great contacts through college, but college ain't teach me shit, right? I ain't leave college being smarter. I met college with a lot of homeboys in my phone and people I could call on, but I didn't get smart in college. So I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur at 17. So my first advice is for entrepreneurs, if you know you're going to want to do it, start early. Because at 17, I ain't got no Mercedes payment. I ain't got a mortgage. Yeah. I ain't got a baby mom. Like, I'm just 17 with really no bills.
Right.
So you can afford to take bigger risks at that age because you ain't got the overhead. That's number one. Number two is the biggest problem with Zach at 19, and we can all maybe agree to this if y'all want to, is buying shit out of a place of pain. So as I first time, I'm in the mall at the chicken spot, You know, that first whole check went back to the mall.
Right.
Fuck it. Run it. All that. All them years. Like, my mama's car was so fucked up when we were growing up. I used to have her drop me off a block away from school. Right. So you know when we going to the lot.
We about to go
and I don't care what the interest is. I ain't trying to put in an LLC. I'm just trying to play that plies and pull up on your ass. And so buying things out of a place of pain. And so that you pay twice for it. You pay the financial part of that, and then you pay, well, what does that Mercedes really cost you?
You know what's crazy?
What is that? What is the back end cost of that pain? And you multiply, you compound that by 10, 15
Listen
years,
to that, bro.
you fucked up.
It's people out here paying $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 for just to ride around in a little scat pack or something
all
like
day
that.
long.
And they paying $2,000 to
all
have a
long.
Hellcat just to have that validation.
Or don't care.
Just to say, I'm in the cat. I'm in
That's
the cat.
pain. And then, like I say, now, hey, if you like that car, you've earned. I'm not saying don't treat yourself. But what I'm saying is, for me personally, a lot of them purchases was done from pain. And when I look at now as 40-year-old Zach versus 19, 20-year-old Zach, you know, I can still put a good fit together without it really costing me on the back end. Do I really need 6 cars? Like, do I really need all this shit? Like, you know, my wife gonna love me the same whether, right? You know, really, your kids gonna smile at you the same way. I'm not saying look like a bum, but what I'm saying is, if you can't really afford it, or these things are putting you in a total worse financial picture later, and quite frankly, do you even need them? You know, like, I really had to check myself and like, man, I'm doing this out of pain. This ain't got nothing to do with the quality of the product or whatever. Right. This is a point now where this is pain, and it's costing me twice. It's costing me on the front end, and it's costing me on the back end. Because as an entrepreneur, you never know when you're gonna need that money again. So that interest rate, who care about the interest rate right now? 19, I'll pay that shit. Well, you know, that interest rate that you paid could have funded your other business right over here that you really want to do. Or now you got some dead money. And it's like, well, damn, if I didn't do this, I could have made this move. So it's almost, looking back, it cost you twice. You paid expensively the first time, you paid it on the back end too.
Man. Hey, Zach.
And we don't have those type of conversations.
Bro, every time we talk,
don't have those type of
boy just be dropping gems,
dropping gems, yo. Like, I'm sitting up here like, okay, how can we at Brock?
No, I'm being real, like,
facts.
and those are things like, because we don't value mental health. We're not really told to talk about our problems. Hell, you know, my daddy ain't never did this before. He ain't have no chicken restaurant. He ain't have no hat company. Like, going through, having a mentor to walk you through, be like, all right, man. Like, first of all, I'm not saying don't get it, but can we get it smarter? Like, can we, do you really need it right now? Like Jay say, if you can't afford to pay for it twice, can you really afford it? And so understanding, like, that pain is a motherfucker, man. And
did you have any mentors that mentored you on your, or so just all lessons?
I wasn't all lessons. I kind of grew up without a father, so I kind of used my father figures almost like we cooking gumbo. Right. Like, I'm gonna use Brock Daddy, Pat Daddy, John Daddy. I'm gonna make my little daddy gumbo, and y'all don't even know. You know, I'm taking little bits and pieces from everybody's daddy and making my daddy. And so that's how you might just be going to the bathroom right now, like, damn, okay, I see what he got. Okay, I wish my pops had. I'm just doing this little gumbo, this pot, and I'm cooking up this Zach Daddy, and that's exactly how I learned.
Zach Daddy.
So some of them was something like that, and then as I got older and I knew what question to ask, I did seek mentors. I seek advice, and people will tell you, even the best athletes, why did Kobe still have a trainer? Right. Like, you want to get better. You just don't, like, even if you the balling, like, you still want coaching, you still want positive criticism. We need that. We need feedback. Like you said, if somebody can't check me in a circle of trust, like, man, I don't want a bunch of yes men around me. So I think that's kind of what inspired me too, or those are the mentors I look for.
Man, I appreciate that.
And then my mentors, quite frankly, were everybody. Jewish mentors, Chinese. Like, I look for the United Nations, because at the end of the day, I'm a businessman, and I'm applying to all these different customer bases. So I got to really know how different customers feel.
No, that's real. That's real, because you'll get in a place where you feel like, oh, I'm comfortable with this setting of people. Like, I'm going to just sit here because I'm comfortable.
Correct.
But you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable
100%.
is what I'm realizing as a boss, and, you know, doing them sacrifices, because like you said, we the first people that's doing this in our family.
And sometimes those different customers are uncomfortable coming to you until you make them comfortable. Now, you might have a group of Vietnamese people that want to rent out quad for the night, but they don't know how to approach. Who do I contact? Who do I shit? They might come and get this thing litter than it's ever been. But if you don't, so that's why I always try to, like, I see it when I do events. You know, we have somebody Spanish speaking, I see who they gravitate to. I see a big dude come up to me. You know, I see it, and you see it with your customers too.
Right. And do you have to take those little, you know, like you said, there could be somebody that wants to approach me, because I find it a little harder now that I got out of the league because I'm like, damn, does somebody always want something from me? You know what I'm saying? So I have to get out of that feeling and put myself out there. Do you feel like you got to put yourself out there to?
So here we go. Let's just think about this, right? Let's think about something, and I'm glad you brought this up. And by the way, I love. You see the passion in my face. I love this shit because, like, I see your mind. Like, I'm just happy for you, bro, and happy for both of y'all because I see where your mind turning. All right, let's just talk business. In a typical business deal, they want something out of you, and you want something out of them. Yeah. So why is that bad, bro?
Right.
Yeah. Damn, they want something from me. You goddamn right, and I want something from you too. This is a mutually beneficial transaction. So you got to get out of this mode of, well, damn, what they want from me. Yeah. Shit, they might want to rent out the club for the night. Right. Now, and I'm sorry they're getting on your nerves by trying to call you, but this might be a bag for you. So I think it's our perception, and I know as an athlete, like you that's a different.
It's hard to get out of that. No, it is.
But as a business person, a typical business transaction, you want to buy a car and they want you to pay for the car. Now, how is anybody getting on anybody's nerves? That's business. Right. And so when you start to think about it in those aspects, it's like, all right, this is an even trade.
Right.
It's an even trade. Okay. Now, when we conduct the business, you ain't calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning, get on my nerves. Like, we're going to have structure in how we do this deal. Yeah. And I'm going to have my personal space. And we, by no means are we homies.
Right.
But it's an even swap.
Yeah. I like that. That changing the mindset will allow me to open up and be like, okay, how you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Without feeling like
totally.
You know what you want? Like, you want to talk about football? Like,
autograph?
Like, I really be wanting people to respect me just as a man first.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But obviously, because I've played in the league,
for sure,
done well, people want to know that side of me first. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be like a little worried, like, damn, I really want to do business with you on another level. I don't want to get into the football because I don't want you to fall in love with the football. You know
I tell people like this when I mentor, I said, man, you teach people how to date you in a business relationship. Okay. Like, you go to Walmart right now, you know you got to put on a shirt to walk in there. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You know you can't shoplift. Yeah. So in a business transaction, this is how you do business with Brock. And maybe I got to reintroduce you to this because the last time you saw me was on ESPN. Yeah. And right now you seeing me at my business establishment. Yeah. But this is how you going to date me. You're not going to come late. This is how we do it here. And, you know, maybe that's not what you were used to or didn't expect, but I'm almost going to tell you how to court me first. Yeah. And then depending on how you respect that, then that's depending on how we go.
It's crazy.
And you shoot first.
Because look, that's like, money. so people that know about me and Brock, right, they be like, damn, bro, if he was my friend, I'd be doing this. You don't even have no jersey, bro. Like, I'm like, bro, because that's not what I don't see him as Michael Brocker's number 90. That's my brother. Like, me and Mike, we best friends. Like, that's how I see him. I don't see him as me try and get this out.
No, not at all. But what we both saying, all of us are saying is, I'm not going to be naive to maybe that's how some other people see me. So before we even go there, I'm going to reintroduce you to this really the same
That's
me.
the first
it's
time.
Been me the whole, it's the same me the whole time. It's not a new me, but I got to reintroduce you to this how we going to do it. I tell them all, like, I know my wife want to eat. She don't know what the hell she want to eat, but I know she hungry. Right. If I say we're going to McDonald's, she going to say, Negro, please. But if I say, baby, let's go to this Italian restaurant, or let's do that. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Like, so you going to have to show them how to, like, you know, I
know what this is going to be controversial. While we on this subject, why are women like that though? Like, they never. This is the thing. They never know where they don't want to eat.
I think they do. I think they do. I think they do. And I think honestly, it's a test. It's a test to see number one where you at with them.
Because as men, bro,
you know what I'm saying? They know exactly what the hell they want.
But the thing about us, as men though, we kind of like we'll eat anywhere, right? So we just like, I will pick somewhere. Well, but then when you pick, oh no, I don't want to go there. You don't.
That's the reality.
You don't know where you want to go, but you keep telling me no, you don't want to go there.
It's a trap. Say Papa those one time. I bet you they say yeah.
Hey, just what I've learned as a husband, bro. Go get you something to eat and just get her something to eat. Whatever you got, you got. Hey, I brought you something. Because you can go knowing, like, in my conscience, I bought myself what I wanted, and I bought her something.
What about this one, though? Y'all go somewhere, say y'all stop at a fast food restaurant, right? You order her something, but you like, I don't want to eat. And then all of a sudden, now they don't want to eat because you not eating.
Yeah, you have a little bit of that, man. But like I said, I think Brock hit the nail on the head. You set the tone. Just grab us something anyway. Bring that thing home. Make sure it's enough for everybody so you can enjoy yours.
Man, I'm telling you, because they're going to be picking off your plate for sure. Well, man, Zach, man, this is the part of the show where we give our guests some flowers, man. So we got a Brock brand package. Do we got a Brock brand package?
Yes, of course. Look, see, Zach, you didn't even know this.
Tell me.
But you brought us. He brought us a gift. I don't know if my boy Drew can get that on camera. Residency. But I also brought you something from us. You brought us.
Yeah,
my boy Zach
man.
always looked out for us.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it.
He been looking out.
We got our own hats as well.
I love it. I love the packaging on this, man. Class act across the way. And this is the thing, man. Like even just the cross promotion. Like when I saw that, I just love that, man. I'm telling you, it's enough. It's enough out here for everybody. And I think the more people understand that, like, ain't nothing coming out my pocket or your pocket, vice versa. I think young entrepreneurs need to really understand that, man. It's just like, we all can learn from each other, man.
What about your circle? Because, like, talk about the circle. Like, I pride myself having a good circle and being I'm a leader, but I'm also listening to my circle. Like, I'm not just telling people what to do. Like, does your circle impact what you do a lot, or is it just you?
Yeah, I think obviously, like, yes, I think we all can agree with us at the age we are. Our circles have changed.
Yeah.
Right. If you would have asked me this a long time ago, circles have evolved and changed. I think some people have circled their ass out, and they did that to themselves, and they on their own. And I think certain times, it's actually different circles. So I have some people that, man, it ain't even about no business or nothing. These people are just people we just kick it with. They're regular people. They work regular jobs. And it's just like, look, we ain't going to talk about nothing entrepreneurial, but we just going to have a good time. And, like, if God forbid something is, you need something as a person, I know I can count on them. I have, like, a mentor circle, like an OGs where, like, how the hell can I get to where y'all at if I don't have the right leadership? It's almost a leadership circle. And then I have, like, that inner circle that I'm around the most, which is my day-to-day business partners. That those are the people we're going to motivate each other, because it's almost like we're going through this struggle together. And it's not always a bad struggle, but it's just we're going through this together. The fire marshal came today, whatever. We got to go through this challenge together, and that's a circle that I kind of feed off the most. But it's tough, man, because I ain't gonna lie, we get on each other's nerves. And one thing that we admitted as a circle is there's no egos, and don't take any offense. Now I might say some offensive shit, but do not take this offensive, because I got to get my point across to get the business going. So I think that's the first thing, like in any relationship, partnership, like, look, man, there's no egos. And when I give you some criticism or I say something, I may not have the best tone or the best delivery, but I got your best interest in mind. And I think the last circle, obviously, Pat, I don't know if you married it, but, like, man, that wifey circle, man, because at the end of the day, I just think a lot of times, you really can't be where you are trying to be without having the right partner, a partner that understands sacrifice, and somebody you can build with, and somebody who maybe they can go get their own bag, or maybe they can teach our children how to get their own bag. It just helps you, man, because at the end of the day, like, I can only do so much. So if I got a partner that's even doing 50, 60, 70% of what I'm doing, look where we can be collectively. So I think it's three, four circles. It's that OG, that current circle. Some people don't circle their ass out, and then it's that wifey circle too.
Okay, because I never thought about it. I appreciate
you have to, but just think about it. Like for example, okay, you were OG in football. If I had a son who wanted to be D-line, I'd bring him to you. So why you don't talk? Why you don't have, like? I'm not saying you don't, but, like, why wouldn't we have an OG accountant who been in the tax game for 30 years and can save us? Why don't we have an OG, a person who does funding? Like, if I just told you I bring my son over here for D-line, well, why don't we go see the person at the bank, who giving out the big grants, and, like, it's just common sense. But when we don't break it down like that, you don't see it. But, like, you sick, you go to the doctor, right? Like, so it's the same type of thing in business. Like, how the hell would I have this much experience in something unless I reached out to people? It's all information. And a lot of this information they don't want you to have.
Speaking of a bag, we both got one from my boy Residency, my boy Zach, Mike. He both brought us a bag. I'm gonna pop these hats.
I got y'all some Houston hats, and I obviously got you some LA joints too, man.
Let me check these out,
for sure, check
those
out.
Man. Mine's is over there. I threw mine's over there trying to get it out the way.
Yeah, but honestly,
this is
man,
what is this, black and white?
Black and white joint.
Black and white joint.
And then we got an Astros colorway for you.
And then we got the Astros. I didn't even see that. Hey, and then also Zach, let him know.
Yeah. So anyway,
this is another thing that he got going on.
Yeah, this is the ghetto gummies, man. This is the worms. These are the worms, man. Honestly, like I say, no THC, CBD. I call it a ghetto gummy pack with flavor. We about to see when you try these things.
Let me try these out, man. Because I had the first, reiteration that y'all had.
Man.
The first gummies that y'all had.
Okay.
That you had brought
out. So you had some.
These are some, like, the first ones that y'all gave out. Oh, okay, this is crazy.
Try them. Try the thing.
Like, you want to try one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, man. A lot of times, like I say, businesses come to me, right? So like,
I don't think
you hold that
hard grip on that motherfucker.
No, but like businesses come to me and like, maybe you got a good product, but you need help with the branding. And so this was the same type of situation. I had a business partner who was a friend of mine, came to me with this. Same thing like the hats, kind of say, hey, man, I see what you're doing with residency. How can we scale this? How can we brand this? So what we're getting ready to do with Worms is so crazy. We're getting ready to do player edition candies where players will have their own line. You kind of seen Rap Snacks do it, and other brands like Snickers have found players and done it. But I'm actually giving equity to players who have their own candy line. So you literally got your own candy line through us. We do the manufacturing, the production, and everything, and this is how we scale it. How we're going to present it is through kids. A lot of people, obviously, anytime you do gummies and you grown, they're trying to push you in the weed game. But this is something where it's like, man, it's way more kids than there's weed smokers. And we can always go back and do the cannabis stuff later. Right. But like, let's get a kid going first. And so a lot of our marketing strategies will be through kids pushing the product.
Since we on this, right?
Yeah.
So my boy Brock, and this is just because we did kind of talk about the cannabis stuff. Since we on candy and we can kind of go into their own little. How is that gonna work though? Like with
so literally, so I'll give you an example. We basically we come up with the whole marketing strategy, right? So it depending on the player, but we would come up with obviously the person, like literally create this almost comic character of the athlete.
There we go.
And then now that's how we scale it. So look, so imagine this person being a superhero, and then that's how
superhero.
Yeah.
Listen, since my boy here, Brocktimus Prime.
Okay.
Brocktimus Prime.
Brocktimus Prime.
I was kind of thinking that's fire. I'm not gonna knock that. But you remember we were talking about the broccoli? Yeah. Well, we can't get no gummy bears, and that's like your vegetables. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You eating on some.
Okay. We can have Brocktimus Prime and broccoli.
100%. Why not? But it's the same angle where we're giving equity to the players in the line, and then we also in the college space. What we're gonna do is we're gonna flip NIL on his head and have these players in college actually create the brand on their own, like through their own image and likeness in the college level. So rather than the NIL space now, players are looking for you to give them the bag. Well, nah, hell, I'm going to give you equity and I'm going to push this through you. So now you really got a brand. It's not just a check. Don't get me wrong, get your check, but what these companies not telling you is I'm giving you something where when you start playing, you still got equity in something.
See, yeah, when you say equity, and a lot of guys don't understand what that is, and it's that ownership that gets me, because it's like, oh, now I have ownership in something.
100%.
Instead of just buying it and I have an item, now I have ownership in something. I think a lot of young guys need to be
100%.
keyed in on that, man. When you get a chance to get equity into a business, man, look closely into those deals, because it's all about ownership.
100%, man, because you can sell gummies a lot longer you can play football or half or vice versa. And quite frankly, if people don't see equity value in you, is it even really the right partner? I'm just being really like a quick bag. I'm not, if you need it, take it. I'm trying to stop no bags from nobody. But at the end of the day, like, really sit back and think. If I sacrifice a year or two to get these candies to pop or get the hats to pop, in the long run, where will I be? And just trying to, like Brock said, getting people to really think about that, man. That short-term money, a lot of times, I'm not saying it's not needed. Sometimes in our community, we need it. Mama need the light bill, mortgage, whatever. But think long-term when you can. If you got to do a short-term deal, do it. But if you don't, look into that, man, because that's going to be the real play.
Man, Zach King, y'all.
Appreciate
man,
y'all.
Zach
I appreciate
King,
y'all.
If y'all don't know who he is, you got to know him now.
Where can people find? Do you have an inspirational page?
No, man. I mean, honestly, man, like, hopefully y'all see, like, y'all passionate about this stuff, man. I really like to give people game, because a lot of this wasn't given to me, and really be vulnerable and give y'all the full spiel. I love what y'all are doing. Like, I kind of gave y'all's flowers offline, but I'm going to do it again. You're showing people, number one, how that reinvention process doesn't have to be a stop and then go. It can be constant motion, like you said. It can happen while you're doing stuff. You don't have to just be a one-trick pony. You can do different things. You can be more than an athlete. You can be a business person. And it's going to be a journey, but it can be done. So I love you guys are creating a platform for that. And in our culture, showing people. We can talk about this shit all day, but in the day, Brock, I want to pull up on you. I really want to see the shirt. I want to touch and feel, and y'all understand that. I see it. I got it. But I just giving y'all flowers on that, man, because that's needed, bro. But anyway, you can find me. Residency is my brand. Residency with the 3 at the end. Obviously, King Size on Instagram. That's my personal account. And like I said, man, hit me up, DM, email. Anybody that needs any help, advice, I'm here.
That's money. That's money. Pat.
Guys, with us, Brock Brand Clothing on Instagram. And don't forget, we also have a football camp coming up that my boy Zach is going to be a proud sponsor
100%.
of.
Let's do it, man.
May 18th at the University of Houston.
And thank y'all for that, man. Number one, providing a safe haven for these kids, and obviously, man, giving them some real game.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And I believe the camp is free for the people
Yes,
to sign
sir.
up.
Free
You got to
football.
sign up, but
FREE.
100%, man. That's what it's all about, giving back. And like we say, what they see is what they'll be.
Yes, sir.
Man, hey, and you can also follow us at the broadcast on Instagram. And if y'all been rocking with us since the beginning, man, y'all know the motto, man. Don't get ready, stay ready. Peace.
Thank you, fellas.